Alright. What can I do to make that sound go away? Turned off the fan. Maybe if I turn down the microphone? Shit, dude, I don't even know if you can still hear me. Um, what if, what if, what, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if I mean, what if, what, I love this thing, by the way. What if I did this? What if I did that? Is that good? Uh, Probably breathing onto the microphone is a bad idea. Um, does it sound okay though? Does it sound? Can you hear me? Do I have to put it like right up? Do I have to do like that? I hope I don't have to. Oh, well, we'll find out in a second. Do I have to put it a little bit closer? Maybe there. Maybe right there. Maybe right there. Although I run the risk of blowing into the microphone and knocking into it because it's on a thingy. So I mean, I like to wave my hands around a lot, so that might suck. I wonder if I can like. It's probably not supposed to do that. I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I can do that. Have it way over there, and then I won't smack into it. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, worst thing is, I know that there's still going to be a little bit of a, and I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sound is weird and hard. Ow. I swear that this is just water. I took the label off because I'm paranoid, but it's water. I promise. Don't have anything else. Um, that might be something for later though. If I get something, maybe I'll do that. That would be fun. Play Hearthstone. No, I play bad already. I don't want to do that. I already play Hearthstone really bad. I don't need to do that to myself. Look at my skulls. I got skulls. I got a little skull and a big skull. A big skull and a little skull. A little empty-headed though. But a big skull and a little skull. Uh, I had names for them. I don't remember what they are because they're skulls. They're just little desk ornaments. Actually, funny story. Okay, so I was gonna go to Dragon Con, and I had that the hood, the dark cloak that I use for my YouTube thingy now. Uh, I had that, and I wanted to bring a staff as well. And I have a staff that I got from Medieval Fair a long time ago that's stood the test of time somehow in this house. So what I was gonna do is I was gonna bolt a skull to the top of it, and I was gonna like have a big jewel implanted in this like in the top of the skull. So like maybe put like a little electrical light with a battery in the back and have it light up so it goes bling through the little plastic crystal, and it would look really cool. And I thought that would be a really neat idea, but it turns out that weirdly you go to a mall and they don't have many skulls, and all I could find was this ashtray thing. And I'm like, I think I can maybe make this work. It turns out that I was way too lazy to do any of that stuff. So I just didn't bring the staff, and I just wandered around. I bought face makeup though, and I bought a whole bunch of like that spray on hair dye stuff that's probably really bad for your hair, and that was a lot of fun. I put like a whole bunch of like dark makeup under my eyes, even though I don't really need it. And then I, I took the red hairspray and I sprayed like a little bit of it, and I made my hair go a little wild, so that under the hood I'm like, and then I had some white up here to look a little ashen, and then what I did was I took some of that red hairspray and I just sort of swiped it on my face with my long hair, and so it looked like I had bloody streaks, and it looked really dumb, but I liked it. My beard was also a whole lot longer. Like, all of this, like, I shaved this like 3 weeks ago, and this is what happens after 3 weeks. I hadn't shaved previously for like for months, like the whole year that last year. So my beard was down to here, and it wasn't bushy, but it was wild out to here, and then this long thing, and it was I thought it looked pretty cool, but it gets in the way of my sleeping because I have a really bad habit. I sleep on my stomach, and beard gets in the way, and it goes up into your face, and it's not nice to wake up with a face full of beard in the morning, so I shaved it off. I don't know why I told you that story. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thursday Roleplay, or Roleplay Thursday. I don't know the order yet. It's Thursday Roleplay because it's Thursday, and I'm going to be talking about roleplay. And I think what I'm going to start off with today is I'm going to be telling you what roleplay is to me, like, not just the definition, but also the definition of roleplay, and how I got my start on, how I discovered roleplaying, I guess. So, roleplaying is, very simply, the playing of a role. My camera's reversed, so that made no sense from your point of view, but a playing of a role. There you go, that looks better. So, it's what actors do in movies, it's what actors do in a play, it's what voice actors do, it's acting. It's acting is what it is. You do it a lot in all of those different scenarios. Kids do it when they play on a playground. Older kids might do it on in a park. Adults can do it in the bedroom, I guess. I mean, you can do that. I suppose it's good for some marriages. I mean, I don't know. It seems like I wouldn't be able to do that without laughing, is the only problem I have with that. Because I have a tendency to just burst out laughing. And my laugh is not the best thing. I don't think that that's a good idea to laugh. So, that's what role-playing is. Some people take the step beyond and they dress up for it. They dress for the part, which is, that's normal. You dress for the part when you're going to be acting. Role-playing isn't set to just to a script or anything like that. Sometimes you can freestyle it, and that's sort of the two halves of what Dungeons and Dragons is. It's the dungeon master who has the script, or at least wrote something up for himself, or maybe he bought it online, or maybe he has a book or something. He can get it from anywhere. And then the players are the actors who are freestyling. So there's also a lot of games, role-playing games, that do it. And again, role-playing games have that same sort of duality where you can either play a scripted role, such as in Legend of Zelda, or The Witcher, where you are given a set role, or it could be something else like in Fallout, or something with a character creator, where you are able to create your own sort of persona with multiple choices. Even though there's still sort of a scripting in there, you still have that element of choice and that element of freestyling. And honestly, those sorts of games often have a sort of a world, or an open world, where you can dilly and dally and basically have your own adventures in between the scripted story bits. So that's what role-playing is. I'm going to take another drink of this water. I promise it's water. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's obviously water. God, I'm such a moron. So where I learned about role-playing as I know it to be. I learned about it when I was 9 years old, which was really third grade. I enjoyed playing video games even then. I really liked watching my sisters play Final Fantasy. I had my own Final Fantasy game. So I was like, hey, I like stories and I like these games, and I have a computer that can access the internet. So I'm like, maybe there's other people on the internet that like role playing. And my innocent brain did not hesitate at all to type in to the internet role playing games like, or something along those lines. I don't know, it was a long time ago. But it was something along those lines, and I, thank goodness, found a site that was basically a bunch of forums that just talked about games. And one of the the site still exists today, but it's not nearly as populated as it used to be, and it's under a different name. Something just hit my window. But yeah, so it still exists today. I don't know if I want to say the name of the site. I guess I won't. But basically, there's one of the sections on the forum site was RPG chat, and I was thinking, when being 9, that meant we're talking about RPGs, role-playing games, and I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you, internet. So I went on there, and I'm like, I wonder which one of these people are talking about games that I know what they are. So I just clicked on one randomly, and it turns out that they were writing stories, and they were actually role-playing. And they were doing so in a format of basically writing large walls of, well, not walls of text, they were spacing them in paragraphs. That's basically what they were doing. They were acting in written form. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting and cool. They're creating their own stories. I want to do that too. I don't know what the rules are or how to do it, but I'm just going to type something up and see how it goes. So on the fly, I created this character called Mr. Skellington, who is sort of a mix of Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas, which was my favorite movie, and still it's up there. But he also had a little bit of Beetlejuice in him, because he wore this suit that was black and white, sort of reminiscent of both of those characters. But he had sort of a gangster, like an LA Noire hat, and he was sort of jazzy, and he was smooth, but he liked to play tricks, and he had this magical power that helped him create small things to facilitate these tricks and mischievous doings that he would do. You know, I thought it was a really cheeky but still cleverly thought out character. I'm 9 in this story. So I write this little thing up, and he's just sort of walking down the woods, and the other person's like, hey, I'm going to respond to this, but you have to put more effort into these posts, because I had only written like 4 or 5 lines, because I didn't know any better. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, this is my first time doing this. I didn't know that there was a level of skill required with this. I'm just sort of experimenting. And he's like, oh, okay, well then I'll just show you the ropes. Basically what you do is you write at least 1 paragraph, but normally you'd write multiple. And I'm 9, so I'm like, that's a lot of writing. This is the grade where usually some people are starting to get into chapter books, like the, what is it, like Mr. Toad and Mr. Frog, something like that? I don't know. So small chapter books that are less than 100 pages, but still multiple chapters. Tasty, tasty water. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll just start experimenting with that. And I had a blast. I had so much fun. And it was, like, really invigorating for me to create these stories, because I just liked stories. I didn't even know you could just create them out of thin air. I thought you needed, like, a college degree to write a story or something. I don't know. I thought you needed to be an adult, a genius, to just put some words on a page and suddenly it's there, this thing that's happening in your brain. So, thanks to that, by the end of the third grade, when we took our SAT test, like pre-test, see if you're ready to, like, just to see your progression in schools, they sometimes make you do an SAT super early on, and then later on to see how you've progressed. I had a college grade reading level and a writing level by then. And funnily enough, that actually went downhill in my middle school and high school years. My reading skill obviously just shot through the roof. I never read anything that was shorter than 400 pages in high school, not because I had this like sense of if it's not 400 pages, then obviously it's not worth reading. But it was just because I really enjoyed those books, because there was a lot of story going on in larger books. The person obviously cared enough to make a larger book. So those were the kinds of books I read. So my reading level is still, but my writing level sort of took a dive because I was so used to typing. I still can't write worth crap with either hand. And I think I'm ambidevil, or whatever it is when you're really crap with both your hands. Both my hands are crap, is what I'm trying to get at here. But yeah, so that's how I learned about role-playing, and that's why I enjoy it so much, is because you're creating stories that previously didn't exist, and they're very interesting to me. And I'm not looking at the camera this whole time, I'm realizing. I'm looking at myself to make sure that I don't, like, explode violently. I don't know why I do things. So I'm gonna look at the camera now. God. It's a very strange feeling for me, by the way, to stare at a camera, because I'm an awkward person. But anyway, so that's how I learned about role-playing, and that's what role-playing is, and that's more or less what we're going to be talking about on Thursdays. I'm also going to be talking a little bit more about myself, a little bit more about my stories, a little bit more about really everything that has to do with role-playing and myself doing these role-plays on Thursday. So if that didn't make sense before, bet it makes sense now. So, that is all I have for today. I will see you guys tomorrow for Freestyle Friday. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I did eventually win at that Hearthstone game, by the way. I needed to get someone's help to do it, though. I was literally just sitting there like, this is too hard for me, brain hurt. And even with another person who had not lost a game since, even with me playing it, it still took us a few tries, which tells me a lot about my particular skill with those particular decks. So hopefully next week it won't be quite so bad, because I'm not that bad, I swear. I mean, I'm pretty bad, but I'm not that bad. Alright, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll figure out something to do tomorrow. Maybe, I think I got something. Alright, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!